Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Big Picture Live. Yes, it is Monday night, and man, I am loving looking at this live chat. I'm seeing people from brand new people and regular people that we always used to see, and it's always a blessing. I just saw a new one, Bogota, Colombia, watching tonight. All over the world tonight. It is a blessing to have you with us tonight. We want to start right off by just thanking everybody. We just had another person just become a partner with us, a remnant partner. So we want to thank you to all our partners out there, just giving praise to all our partners, just thanking you. And, of course, you know who you are. And, I thank God that, hey, we got so many people believing in us right now. It's hard to read them all. But what an exciting time it is. But nothing compares to the excitement that I know all of you are waiting for. And that is when I bring in my co-host, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together and make some noise for Sandy.
We're back. It's so good to be back.
We're back, baby. You got to straighten up now. You got to straighten up.
Trying to get in here.
Straighten up.
Didn't have time to get my camera right.
Yeah, that's all right. We're just happy you're here. Can you believe it's already
this chat? Oh my goodness.
The chat's blowing up. It's just blowing up. I mean, we got Idaho in the house tonight. My goodness, all different from all over, over the world, and the numbers are just going up quickly. Yeah. I mean, the weeks go by so fast. It's hard to believe it's already been a week.
It's a blur. It's just crazy.
It is crazy.
But I think the amount of news stories and everything that happens, everything that's going on, also just seems to expedite all of that.
I would agree.
It feels like time is speeding up, doesn't it?
But I think you feel the same way because we talk about this a lot. Is you just have to imagine the things that we have to process and go through.
Yes.
It can just suck the life out of you.
Yes.
Just trying to wean it down to 10 or 11 different things. But then we come on here and we see the live chat, and what a blessing it is. Let's throw that live chat up here right now because I'm just telling you, man, what a blessing these folks are.
Wonderful.
Oh, there's Timothy. Good to see you, Tim.
Hi, Timothy.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. We got folks from Solid Rock. We got people from all over the world, Sandy. All over the world. We got Bogota, Colombia. We got Idaho. We had the UK earlier. We've got Toronto, Canada. My goodness. I mean, from all over the world. What a blessing it is.
It's like an online family reunion.
And
we should have got T-shirts.
We will have T-shirts coming up. You know that. Okay. T-shirts are coming. T-shirts are coming. There's very soon. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. But I don't want to scroll and make people's heads spin by going all at the beginning. But one thing that I loved earlier is I saw somebody say, "This is my favorite show. I can't stop talking about it."
Well, of course.
They say they go everywhere. They tell everybody. They're sharing it with people.
Well, you just keep right on doing that.
So, I mean, that just blesses us, y'all, because it's not easy to show up here, and do this and put it all together.
And this hair, not with this hair.
Hey, baby,
this is a soft rollout for next week. It's going to be Princess Leia donuts. So I'm going to go full donut next week.
If you pull that off, we might finally go viral.
Somebody send Bobby pins now.
Oh, yeah, some Bobby pins now. If you pulled off the Princess Leia.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't even know what you call that thing. But,
I don't either.
I would be interested to see you with that.
I'm going to have to have the attire as well. So.
Well, I mean, I'm sure everybody's just enjoying us just sitting here talking about all this crazy stuff.
Where's the coffee?
This is why they came, right?
I need
to hear us talking about things. But
somebody send coffee and snacks.
Send coffee, send snacks, and there's something else you said we got to send. But one thing about it, baby, it's Monday.
Come on.
It's Monday. Thank God
Jesus.
it's Monday. Woo! Come on. It's Monday. It's Monday. So that's why we get so excited to be here. And so we got a lot of stuff to cover tonight, baby. We're going to get into it, but we want to remind everybody, as you know, if you're the first time here with us, we want to welcome all our first-timers here to the Big Picture family.
Welcome, first-timers.
And we are here every Monday night live. And tell everybody else about it. But also, this show is blowing up as well. People from all over the world are coming together live and on the replays as we break down the book of Revelation verse by verse. And they're just loving it. So
and you're hitting pay dirt when you have one problem after another during the broadcast.
The stuff we cover here on this show, we don't get kicked off on this show. But when I start talking about the Bible, I have been kicked off for the last 3 weeks, y'all. Yes. It's been unbelievable. So, but tonight we are going to get into it tonight, and we got a lot of stuff to cover, and it's all coming your way right after this. All right.
I'm enjoying the spring weather, but I'm looking forward to these things that are pollinating right now. I'm hoping they're almost through cycle because these are the ones I have problems with, and they're like my kryptonite.
Yeah.
So I really need this to be done.
Yeah, and then the rain comes, it washes all the pollen away. And
For
you
a
think
day,
it's
might
not
be
even
better.
a day.
It's not.
Sometimes just a couple hours you come back.
I get a
and
few
it's back.
hours of relief, and then I can't breathe again. So if I sound a little snotty, I'm sorry. Just pray for me.
You've never been snotty, baby. You've always been so sweet and just
Loving,
innocent and loving.
compassionate.
Y'all just don't know what a blessing it is to live with this queen.
Can I be that Proverbs 31 woman?
You are a Proverbs 31 woman. So let's get into the news tonight, y'all. So we're just having too much fun here. We done lost about 20
Bring it
people.
back.
We had about 20 people a while ago. They all said, I don't want to hear all that. I came here for the news. So here we are. We're getting into the news tonight. And I'm going to tell you what, it's rapid fire tonight. The first one up tonight is, and this is very troubling, very troubling.
This story probably stressed me more than any other.
Yeah, we talked a lot about this today. You seem to really be bothered by this. Let's just go ahead and read it because we've got several articles that are going to support this.
The article's not very long, but really and truly every word needs to be read.
Okay,
It's
so I
very
want everybody
important.
to pay close attention because this is the world that you're living in right now. White House admits countries worldwide are refusing the U.S. dollar. Now, some of you are going to learn something tonight that you didn't even know was actually going on. Most Americans don't even know that this is how the world operates. Of course, you can see this is the White House spokeswoman, Karen Jean-Pierre.
Her name is Catherine Jean-Pierre.
Catherine Jean-Pierre. I don't know how to say her name, and be honest with you, I don't know what to say about this lady. Okay, was asked what the Biden, because let me tell you something. She reads everything she says. I mean, can you not get up there and just talk to us without reading something? That's all I'm going to say.
She's got a tough job.
She's got a tough job, but come on, you need to do something besides read.
Well, she doesn't bring that thick notebook out there most of the days anymore, does she?
Oh, yes, she does.
Still
Every
does?
single day.
Okay.
Was asked what the Biden regime was doing about countries switching away from the U.S. dollar and using their own currency as settlement of foreign trade. Her response was stunning. Switching to national currencies is a violation of the rights of the American citizen. Instead of talking about how concerned they are about that, they got the canned response. What comes right after that? Well, the White House then threatened with sanctions sanction those countries that refuse the dollar in manual settlements. It's already trending on social media. And of course, you see here the tweet of the spokesperson. But here it is. So there you have it. Countries around the world are, in fact, Sandy, either stated their intentions to cease accepting the U.S. dollar or have already begun refusing the U.S. dollar.
Let's pause here for 1 second. I wish I had the exact number and the identities of those countries that in the last 1 to 2 weeks have said, we're no longer going to trade in the U.S. petrodollar.
Wow.
There's probably 5 or 6 of them, but let's please continue with the article because it's so important.
Yeah, okay. So the White House has now tacitly acknowledged it. This is now a slow-moving train wreck for the United States. You need to pay close attention, y'all. This is big. Nobody's talking about this, but this is one of the biggest things that's happening in the world. Our federal government has abused so many countries with our, quote, economic sanctions. That's all you ever hear. We're going to impose sanctions. No action, just sanction. And have done it for so long that countries around the world have begun rejecting the U.S. dollar as a means of payment for international trade. If countries no longer accept the U.S. dollar, then the U.S. government has by no means by which to impose these economic sanctions. So the U.S. government becomes toothless against all the foreign nations. On top of the economic sanctions abuse, the same U.S. federal government has overspent by so much and run up so much debt that the world is rapidly losing faith in the U.S. dollar and will not have any value at all. Now, here's where you're going to be educated tonight. Here's where you need to know why this really matters. What this means for you and me here in the USA is that hyperinflation is already on its way. Here's why. A lot of you didn't know this. For almost 100 years, the U.S. dollar has been the currency for the world. It has been the only reliable currency for everyone. No matter what country you chose to trade with other countries, both countries knew settling the trade in U.S. dollars preserved the value of their trade and was a rock-solid measure of value. In order to be able to smoothly carry out those foreign trades, central banks all over the world kept a supply of U.S. dollars in the central banks so trade could be settled. A few more sentences and then we're going to discuss this. As of right now, at least 6.4 trillion U.S. dollars are resting in central banks around the world. As more and more countries cease using the dollar, foreign banks will no longer need to keep those dollars in their central bank. Here it comes, Sandy.
Yep.
Those dollars will begin to come home to the USA. And when that happens, when those dollars come home, the value of the U.S. dollar against foreign currencies will begin to drop because nobody will want the dollars. We'll come back to this. What are your thoughts on this so far?
It bothers me a lot. I know that banking experts, government officials, government financial experts, they are probably quaking in their boots. They know exactly what this means, what it means for our country, what it's going to mean for the individual. They do not want those dollars to come back home. They do not want this repudiation of the U.S. petrodollar.
Exactly. And I want to read just a little bit more of that article because we're educating the people tonight. See, in the USA, we don't manufacture much of anything anymore. Thanks to the corporate, this is a commentary, I'm not going to call them that name, who pushed us into becoming a service economy. Much of our manufacturing was shipped out of foreign countries. Then, thanks to them too, who pushed free trade, and he goes on and on and on, that free trade was actually a fraud. Yes. It was all trying to get us out of the global economy or put us in a global economy and not make us an independent country.
It goes on to say that it helped line the pockets of the corporations, right?
Yes, exactly.
Because they sent the products out to be made at cheaper labor, bring them back here and sell them.
Right. And now here's the question, though. If the U.S. dollar is not going to be the trustworthy currency, then what's coming? If you don't know this term, you need to learn this term, because if you don't really know what it is, you just think, what is that? Because it's called BRICS. Right. And so BRICS is something that you need to know about, and that's why we call this the big picture. We want you to know the big picture. So what is BRICS? So this is an article here that says, ditch the dollar movement, which is what we just talked about, grows as... ding, 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 ding. Moscow calls for the creation of a common BRICS currency. So what
Does it say what year this was brought into being? Because it's really not been that long.
No, it's not been that long.
And we need to go ahead and say what countries consist of BRICS.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Okay. It says, following years of abusing its reserve currency, which we're talking about, the United States now faces a growing wave of global de-dollarization, as many of the largest and most populous countries on the planet are banding together to launch a U.S. dollar alternative to be used in global trade. According to a report from a local news outlet, State Duma Deputy Babakov is encouraging the creation of the new common currency between Russia, India, and the other BRICS nations.
Let's just say who the BRICS are. Britain,
all right,
Russia.
Here it is right here. Brazil. It's Brazil,
Russia.
Russia,
India.
This is it right here. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So it's an acronym. BRICA, BRICS.
Right.
CS, BRICS. So, but that's the ones that formed it. But the whole world now.
These are the 5 originals.
Yes.
I don't know if you're going to say it in this article, but as I told you earlier, I was reading from All News Pipeline, and it may not have been All News Pipeline, but this article was talking about that Russia is looking to add 5 more countries this year. It's only 5 now. They want to double it in just a matter of a few months. This year.
Absolutely. He went on to note that China, listen, we keep talking about Russia, and Russia needs to be on your mind, but China, y'all, is controlling the world.
Right.
He went on to note that China would also play a crucial role in the development of a common currency, as it would add an additional 1.4 billion participants in the system. New Delhi, Beijing, Moscow are the nations that now institute a multipolar world that is endorsed by the majority of governments. its composition should be based on inducting new monetary ties established on a strategy that does not defend the U.S. dollar or euro, but rather forms of new currency competent of benefiting our shared objectives, end quote. Wow.
So there's 8 billion or so people on the planet. What happens if, up to 7 billion of them want to be in BRICS system and the rest of us are just left to whatever's left? How's that going to work?
Hey, but think about this. That's on the other side of the world.
No.
What?
I know it
Mexico.
is.
Mexico.
Right.
That ain't the other side of the world.
No.
Mexico come out this week and said they plan to join BRICS amid growing tensions with the U.S.
Now, I want to laugh at the headline of this article.
Exactly.
Growing tensions.
Right.
How much more do we need to do to open the doors, open the gates, roll out the carpet to help this nation? I'm sure that there are some things where they're not pleased with us, but oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, that boy.
If anybody had tensions, you would think that it would be tensions on our side towards them.
Exactly. Let's see what they say. Mexico has expressed its interest in joining BRICS group of emerging economies, as we said, which consists of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The Mexican foreign minister, Marcelo Ebrard, said that Mexico shares the vision. Listen to these words. Shares the vision and values of the BRICS, and hopes to deepen its cooperation. The values. Values of Russia and China?
Do they even have the brazenness to come out and say that because they are also being infiltrated by China?
You better believe it.
The way South Africa is being colonized, literally colonized by China.
Yeah.
I've heard that China has built a very long runway for whatever they're planning to do in Mexico.
In Mexico. I remember when I was on a mission trip years ago in Kenya, and we're driving down what was a new interstate. I'll never forget this. This is long before our eyes were open to the big picture of what was going on in the world, especially with China. And they were putting this brand new interstate system in Kenya. And it was just a big deal to Kenyan people. They were just like, wow, this is incredible. Sure. But I noticed something. Every person in Kenya working on the interstate was not Kenyan. They were Asian. And then my friend began to tell me that they had to enter an agreement that they would build that interstate through Kenya, but Kenya had to agree that they would fly their own people in there to build it. They would actually own it, and they would almost sort of like rent it back to Kenya. And they just bought it hook, line, and sinker because Kenya didn't have the money to build the system.
And that's not the end of it. They told them that they would come and help establish ports and upgrade what they had or build what they didn't have.
Exactly.
And guess what? When you're not able to pay them back for the work that they've done, they're going to take possession of it.
Exactly. And continuing on this article about Mexico, and then we'll move on, but it says, Mexico sees BRICS as an alternative platform to diversify its foreign relations and increase its global influence. It's the second largest economy in Latin America after Brazil, has a population of over 120 million people. But it goes on to say, but look, we try not to get political on the show, but I got to say this. This is not just about the dollar. This is about the world looking at our country, which we used to be strong, and they see us as absolutely weak. They are not intimidated by us. They're not inspired by us. They don't want to be us anymore because they see our culture imploding from within, and they see our government just choosing everything else other than their own country. And the world says, why do I want to invest in a dollar of a country that is no more the country that we used to see? America is not the country.
Let's just tell the truth. Russia and China have backed their currency by gold.
Exactly. Think about that.
Our currency is weak.
Our
It
currency
only stands on the fate of the American people and others around the world who believe that it has some backing, that it has some strength. But that is breaking down rapidly. It's breaking down daily when one country after another is making a proclamation. We are no longer doing global trade in the U.S. petrodollar.
But the hits keep on coming. While all this is happening, look at this headline. Small business bankruptcies reach worrisome levels as Biden continues to tout rising business formation. He's telling us the government is great while he's eating his ice cream. Okay, Larry, hush. Small businesses impacted by the current economic tumult are filing for bankruptcy at levels last witnessed at the outset of the lockdown-induced recession, even as President Joe Biden touts an uptick in new business ventures. Economic phenomena such as inflationary pressures, as well as the rising interest rates caused by a monetary tightening of the Federal Reserve, has produced an increase in the number of small and medium-sized businesses filing for bankruptcy. This is very alarming. According to a note from investment bank UBS, obtained by Business Insiders, fear of a credit crunch amid the failure of multiple banks worsened in the rise of bankruptcies. The number of business closures surpassed the peak witnessed 3 years ago when governments implemented lockdown mandates. So we have more businesses closing and filing for bankruptcy now than we did during the lockdown. I
don't know how some of these have held on this long.
Let's look at this. The number of monthly bankruptcy filings reached nearly 32,000 as of February 2023, an 18% rise of the monthly, right? Just monthly. An 18% rise from the 27,000 bankruptcy filings seen in February of 2022, according to data from the American Bankruptcy Institute. Now, watch this. Chapter 11 bankruptcies, which are typically used by larger businesses because of their more complex nature, increased by 83%.
That's a staggering number. I did not even see that part of that article. That's amazing.
83%. There's nothing to see here. Everything's going great.
Everybody move on.
This is a great economy. We're on the rebound. No, we're not. No, we're not on the rebound of anything. Here's an article, Sandy, to tell you just exactly where we're at, because there's one staple that no matter what has always been in good standing. There's one thing that if you always want to, 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on sesame seed bun. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay, I did, because was that McDonald's or Burger King? I can't remember.
That's McDonald's.
Was that McDonald's? Was that the McDonald's? Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I was thinking about that sesame seed bun. But look at this. This is from the Wall Street Journal, Sandy. What do you think about this? McDonald's temporarily shuts down their main U.S. offices, as they prepare on how to tell their workers of the layoffs that are coming at McDonald's.
Right. These are the big dogs, the corporates, the fat cats making all the big money. This is not your low-level worker, although I imagine it will trickle down at some point.
Yeah, this is the Wall Street Journal, y'all. This is the Wall Street Journal.
So they literally told these guys to work from home this week while they get ready to make announcements of who gets to keep their job and who's getting their pink slip. Is that what this article says?
Yeah, it says they're temporarily closing their U.S. offices this week as it prepares to inform corporate employees about layoffs undertaken by the burger giant as part of a broader company restructuring. They always love to say, this is just a part of restructuring. What that means is we're getting rid of people and things so that we can stay alive.
Yes.
Is it mind-boggling to think that McDonald's, I mean, come on. I don't care if you're in a lockdown, if you're in a good economy, bad economy, you're going to go get something from fast food restaurants, and fast food restaurants are shutting down. And on top of that, I'm seeing, I don't have the article tonight, but I saw an article the other day that they have now rolled out 5 test stores. I forgot what city it was in, where there is not one single employee. Full automation. Not one. You pull up to the driveway, it's AI. Inside, there's conveyor belts that makes your order. And then when you pull up to the window, it slides it out to you.
That's amazing. I mean, it already just It's already tastes worse than ever. It's the lowest quality food and service you've ever received in your life.
Exactly.
Probably the service will actually get better with automation, but how is it going to taste?
How's it going to taste? Yeah.
Oh
my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, let's continue on. Let's continue on because, and I'm not going to really play this because this is just a little bit long thing
now
here.
This is where it's going to hit some of my girlfriends right here when their Target's in trouble.
Target?
Yeah.
No, Target?
Yeah.
Target? Look, Target, look at the headline of this. Target is, read it for me, baby.
Dying before our eyes as perfect storm hits America's biggest chains.
And look what the commentator says here. Target is in far more trouble than people realize. New evidence shows the popular retailer is now dying before our eyes as a perfect storm of events strikes America's biggest chains, facing a $400 million shortage in cash flow, declining sales, and plummeting profits, and crashing shares in the stock market. The company is hanging by a thread. To make things worse, supply chains imbalances and bloated inventories are forcing Target to mark down prices of several items due to lower demand, which is further depressing the bottom line. At this point, the store chain looks like the next perfect victim to the unforgiving retail apocalypse.
Wow.
And this video goes on. I'm not going to play it because we got so much to cover.
Yes.
It's a long video, but it details everything what we just said. And this article can be this information can be found in multiple places, y'all. But nobody's talking about it. Target is in trouble. Walmart is in trouble. Walmart's stock has plummeted. We have McDonald's that is laying off and eliminating workers. The dollar is plummeting.
Well,
what is this world going to be?
People do not believe it. They can't process it. They don't think this could ever happen. Just wait until some of these restaurants, fast food or otherwise, and these stores start closing down and boarding up. You'll believe it then, won't you?
You'll believe it then. So much stuff is happening. It's too much to even really cover.
It is.
I mean, it's like
so much.
How do you move from the whole world says we don't want your dollar anymore? Right. Icons are shutting down. Icons are in trouble. Yes. I mean,
we're already feeling that sharp pinch and sting of inflation as I don't even know what the price for one combo meal is.
It's unbelievable.
I remember being there the other day by myself, starving, wasn't going to be home for a while. I just needed to eat, and I didn't have time to do anything but go through the drive-thru. Whatever the cost was, I was like, wait a minute. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just me. I'm by myself.
I went into Taco Bell drive-thru the other day. They got supposed to have the cheap meal, the cheap choices. I got the cheap choices, and then I got you something too because you wanted something too. I got up to the window. They said the total, and I said, "Ma'am, with all due respect, can you check that again?" I really did. Yeah. I was like, "Are you sure that's right?" And she called it back off to me, and it was like $11 for the same thing that not long ago, if I'd have got that same thing, it was going to cost us like $4.
Okay, well, let's talk about 3 Wednesdays ago. We got something to eat right here close by our office, the church office, before Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And I told you what it was for those
two people.
Take-out meals.
What was it, like $30?
$33.
Take-out.
That didn't even include any kind of tip or drop something in the bucket as you leave.
If it wasn't for the fact that we were starved to death and we had done skip lunch, we'd have said, y'all, you can keep that.
I was like, I can't do it.
Right,
I can't in good conscience do that.
But while all that's going, look at this. Energy prices are skyrocketing. Watch this.
Oh, yeah.
The world's saying, we don't want your dollar.
Huge.
Then listen to what OPEC and Russia are saying. OPEC says, we're going to shock the world, and they announce a massive oil production cut.
Yes.
The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC, surprised the world. This was today when they announced yesterday that this article's from today, but they announced yesterday that they would be cutting their future oil production by hundreds of millions of barrels a day, which will force another tight squeeze on energy of nations such as, ding, 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 the United States. That depends on Middle Eastern oil, ultimately leading to higher prices at the pump and other energy expenditures in the months to come. I remember just about 2.5, almost 3 years ago, we were energy independent.
Indeed.
Ding, 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 ding. But now we have cut so many things, shut down so many refineries, shut down so many pipelines. Here we are again. And they are laughing all the way to the bank. On the backing of this new oil prices have expectedly surged higher. OPEC on Sunday surprised the oil markets with the announcement that will reduce further output by 1.6 billion barrels daily. Meanwhile, Russia said it would extend the production cuts of 500,000 barrels per day in an announced earlier this year until the end of 2023. Naturally, the United States was displeased to hear this news. We don't think cuts are advisable at this moment.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
Oh, my God.
This is my country. I'm laughing at my country. It's sad.
Listen, Russia. Listen, OPEC. Listen to me. You think I'm joking, but I'm not joking. This is not advisable. Don't do this. This is not a good thing to do. It's not advisable.
You know, I've been listening to Perry Stone for years, and I know many of you out there are familiar with Perry Stone when he would preach and speak about America becoming the great hissing.
Yeah.
This is that moment. I always wondered, what would that look like?
Yeah.
What is he talking about? I believe what he's saying, but I can't picture or imagine what that looks like. This is what that looks like.
Yeah. What do you think Vladimir Putin, Sheen, ever how you say his name? Zhajing. I mean,
Ping. Last name Pink.
I mean, what do you think? Are they intimidated by this? Listen, we've made this clear. This is unadvisable.
They have to all be laughing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But listen, baby, we're focused on process. We're not worried about what you do over there, OPEC. We're not worried about you, Russia. I'll tell you what we're concerned about. We're just focused on right here getting gas prices down for the American consumers. We ain't worried about barrels. You hear how silly this sounds? We ain't worried about barrels. We're just worried about gas. So the average person is like, well, I'm so thankful that my country's worried about the gas pump and ain't worried about the barrels. Well, where do you think the gas comes from? It comes from the barrels. Yeah. We're not worried about the barrels. We're worried about prices coming down significantly. Prices have come down significantly since last year, more than $1.50 per gallon from their peak last summer. That's your answer? That's your answer to the world saying, we have you in the crosshairs. We see your demise.
Who was it we talked about just a couple of weeks ago that said they were no longer answering the phone, no longer taking
That was
calls?
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia won't even answer the phone. It just rings.
Answer the phone.
Oh, but listen, Sam, this is very important because the world needed to hear this. Mm-hmm. While energy is being cut, while OPEC is saying, I'm cutting millions of barrels, Russia's 500,000 barrels per day, all this kind of stuff, what does our government say? What can they say to settle our minds, settle our hearts as Americans, that they care about our future? Well, White House reaffirmed their commitment to green energy this morning, per the U.S.-EU Task Force on Energy Security. This was in the press conference being asked about barrels being cut. This was their response. Recognizing that clean energy as well as energy efficiency and demand flexibility measures are essential to enhancing energy security and accelerating the energy transition, the task force has exchanged information on policy and market solutions to accelerate the deployment of energy efficiency technology, heat pumps, smart thermostats, and related awareness-raising activities among consumers and relevant stakeholders. The task force has discussed solutions for reducing gas and electricity use and calls for flexible demand response mechanism, blah, 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 wah, 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 wah. When I read this, do you know what I think of, baby? I think of Charlie Brown when he was on the phone. Remember that? When
I think of this, I think of the government taking out some kind of blade and cutting a large gash into my arm and then putting a Band-Aid on it and calling it green energy.
Green energy.
But listen, this is something we need to talk about, and I don't know if this article covers it. On top of the cutting of oil production, we have almost depleted our strategic oil reserves.
Absolutely.
And they know that.
They know it. They know it.
I probably shouldn't say.
Uh-oh.
They know they have us over a barrel.
They have us over a barrel. Where's my laugh? Where's it at? Come on. There it is, baby.
But,
you went for the joke.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't
They
have
have us over a barrel.
Should stay focused right now. But seriously, okay, come on. They know we are in a very bad place, and they do this at this time.
Well, while all that's going on, I mean, the hits just keep coming. So the world says, we don't want your dollar. The world says, we're going to make up our own currency, and we're done with you. Well, the world says, guess what? We know you're trying to do this stupid Green Deal thing. So, we're going to help you along in that journey to Agenda 2030. We're not going to do it. We're not going to be a part of Agenda 2030, but we're going to make it sound like we're doing it. But we're just going to keep burning our fossil fuels, and then we're going to cut all your fossil fuels so that you can't. While at the same time, banks are shutting down left and right. Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen, that when that bank, I won't say it right. What was it called? Because I don't want to misquote it. Silicon.
SVB, Silicon Valley Bank.
Yeah. Okay. Silicon, not silicone.
It's not silicone.
Okay.
Silicon Valley.
But there probably was a lot of silicone. Okay.
Just think of your favorite technology thing. Silicon Valley.
Yes, Silicon Valley. U.S. banks, watch this. U.S. banks lost nearly $1 trillion in deposits since recent peak. Small banks in particular are losing deposits to money market funds at an alarming rate. This is, of course, the bank we're talking about. The month of March witnessed the fastest withdrawal of funds from commercial banks.
Well, of course. And can you blame anybody?
Look at that, Sandy. In U.S. history.
Those are the ones that are actually awake.
Yeah, right. According to data released by the Federal Reserve, a staggering $360 billion was withdrawn from banks across the country in the past month alone. To put this in context, not a single monthly decline in 2008. Y'all remember 2008? 2008 it literally destroyed lives, destroyed businesses. I mean, it was of our lifetime. It was
for us personally and for our church a very bad time,
very
hard time. And friends of ours, they threw the towel in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it broke my heart because I knew what we were dealing with.
Yep.
And to see those that just said, we can't do it anymore, it's over.
So for business-minded people and people that had any kind of life going on trying to generate funds, we'll never forget 2008. But look what it says. To put this in context, not a single monthly decline in 2008, not any month, exceeded $100 billion.
My goodness.
The recent withdrawals have dwarfed those of the past, bringing total bank deposits down by almost $1 trillion since the highs in April 2022. Data from Bank of America show a commensurate surge in money market fund assets over the past few months. Money market funds invest in short-term debt, often government bonds, to earn yield while offering high liquidity. It goes on to say, who wants to make 0.3% with a bank when you can make 5% in money market funds? This is unbelievable. And then this last thing of this article here, over the past week, the 10-year Treasury bond decreased by more than 10 basis points. It is unbelievable. And then, of course, you see down here, gold. Gold goes up when all this is going down. This is always a sign of where inflation is going. Gold has been strong since its demand, since the collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank on March 10th. Since then, the price of precious metals have increased more than 7%, once again surpassing $2,000 per ounce.
Yeah, I noticed it got right up to around $2,000 per ounce sometime last week. And then it'll dip back down to 1990, whatever. But ultimately, it's going to get over 2000, 2005 and start that climb. And who knows where it's going to stop when it does. when it really kicks in.
Yeah, so that people ask us all the time. They hear us covering this. What should I do with my money? We're not.
You don't need to ask us.
You don't need to ask us. We're just preachers, just trying to
Right.
make sure you know what's going on in the world. We're not financial advisors, but I can tell you this: you need to be careful, and you need to look at the big picture of what can be done to preserve your future, whether you are talking about retirement, 401k, where your money's at. We had Paul Begley on here a few weeks ago, and I think he surprised us and a lot of people by his response, because we were thinking, he was going to come on here and tell us, move your money to a local bank. And I want to say again that if you own a local bank, work at a local bank, I'm not trying to cause you any kind of problems, but he said his connections in Washington and some of his people were telling him they're not going to let the big banks fail, because they want the big banks in place so that the big banks can bring in the digital currency. Yeah. So what does that mean? Does that mean that you leave the small banks? That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying keep your eyes open and be awake, because things are shutting down rapidly.
Whittle all the banks down to, I don't know, 4 to 6 big banks, just the way 6 corporations own all of the news. Because it's so much easier to control. And when you've got a big agenda like bringing in CBDC, bringing in that digital currency, it's the long game. It's the long game.
And you're talking about the long game. Communists are notorious for the long game. Because they have set their goals. Russia said they would conquer the U.S. from within. Mm-hmm. They knew they could not launch an attack on our shores. Russia made that very clear. China has made that very clear. I'm talking about at the beginning stages of communism. Mm-hmm. They knew the only way to take over the strongest capitalist nation in the world would not be from without, it would be from within. And little by little by little, it has been happening. But, we thought, when we was raised up in the 80s, we thought it was going to be Russia. Nobody knew that the actual communist nation that would really begin to overthrow our great nation, or at least looks like it's on the way, is China. And not long ago, it feels like it's been 6 months ago. It feels like it's been a year ago, but because so much stuff goes on. But it wasn't that long ago
we're coming up on 2 months when that first balloon episode happened.
The Chinese balloons. Y'all remember that? Well, guess what happened? Look at the date here, y'all. Today, April 3rd, 2023, confirmed. Chinese spy balloon did gather intelligence from sensitive U.S. military sites as it flew across America before it was shot down. The Chinese spy balloon that flew across the U.S. in February. Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah, it was the 1st of February, right before we left for our trip to Israel, or
February.
That same week.
Gathered intelligence from several American military sites before it was shot down, according to 2 senior U.S. officials and a former senior administration official. The sources said China could have gathered more intelligence if it were not for the Biden administration's effort to block it. Thank God for the Biden administration to blocking it. The balloon entered the U.S. airspace on January 28th and was shot down on February 4th. Only after passing over U.S. nuclear missile sites, including the Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana. The intel collected was mostly from electronic signals, supposedly, like we're supposed to believe what we're being told. China previously claimed that the balloon was a civilian weather balloon. That's just straight off course. Now, I'm going to show you something.
All the way across the country.
Yeah, look at how just amazing the winds were during those weeks. Because here is a map of the path of all those balloons that just straight off course. They started in late January, leaves Hainan Island, China. The wind just gets it, baby. Look at it. It just takes it across the Pacific Ocean. Somewhere,
just ride that jet stream, baby.
Just
ride it on out.
That jet stream on January 28th just picked up that balloon, took it into U.S. airspace. And just January 30th, how amazing. It enters into Alaska. It doesn't just float all the way over to the Pacific Ocean and go to Mexico or go to Brazil like a straight line. No, it curves right across Alaska. Yeah. Then it comes down, look at the map, it comes down through Canada and straight across Montana,
There you go.
Wyoming, Colorado, where there are major military, and you see the little missile sites there, just happened, Sandy, just happened to stray off course and just happened to fly across nuclear missile places. And then, look, it went across us. Look at there. It went across Alabama. It went across the southeast, and then it went out into the ocean.
Where it was conveniently shot down after it traversed the entire country.
After it traversed the entire country. But wait a minute. I heard this week, Joe Biden, when he first heard about it, he said when he was briefed in January 30th, shoot that thing down today. But top military officials stopped him and said, President Biden, with all due respect, we do not know what could be involved in the debris that might fall on people. We advise you, President Biden, to not touch it until it is safely off our shores into the water. So he reluctantly agreed.
Right.
Thank God.
And there may have been some truth to that.
Thank
It's
God.
just such a mess.
Such a mess.
Goodness.
Such a mess.
Such a mess.
Well, but look at here. It wasn't just Biden. They're saying it was Trump too. All the red ones was when Trump was president. The blue ones is when Biden was president. So there was Chinese balloons coming across our country during the Trump administration. Guam military base.
Do you ever remember hearing about any of those incidents? I don't
No.
remember hearing. And I don't doubt that they happened. But
So, yeah, some people would say, is that really true? But I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard President Trump respond to this and acknowledge it or deny it even. But they're saying Hawaii, Guam, Coronado, California, Texas, Florida, and Norfolk, Virginia had balloons over them when Trump was president. Who knows? But the bottom line is
a constant onslaught of trying to, find out what information they can to use. But wow.
China. See, remember not long ago it was Russia. Yes. Now it's China. The China hits keep coming because there's this app called TikTok. You ever heard of it? No, your kids have heard of it, and some of you are addicted to it worse than your kids. But the reality is this: there's a move to ban TikTok. There's which is owned by a Chinese government entity, and it is believed that it is to be being used to spy on Americans and track Americans to manipulate our children, manipulate our culture. I honestly believe all of that's true.
It's an intelligence gathering tool.
But one thing that nobody's talking about, Ryan, what's his name? Paul Ryan? Is that his name? Which one's the senator?
Paul Ryan.
Paul Ryan. Yeah, I get him and his dad. I can't remember what was his dad's name. I can't remember his name.
You're thinking of Rand Paul.
Rand Paul. Yeah, not Paul Ryan. Paul Rand Paul.
Okay, Rand Paul.
That's what I'm talking about. Is that the guy that's the senator right now? Rand Paul, or is that his daddy?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's the one I'm thinking about. He came out against this ban, and he said, y'all. He got on there and he said, I am against this. Do not sign this bill to ban TikTok. Well, people like me, I'm like, you need to get rid of TikTok and all this.
What's his reasoning? Because I haven't read this article.
Yeah, I wanted to listen to what he had to say. And just like I'm telling you, you should have expected, our government is never fully doing what they're saying they're doing.
They're trying to sneak something else
in
there.
It's called, ladies and gentlemen, the Restrict Act. The Restrict Act is the anti-TikTok law that is trying to be passed right now. But it is an Orwellian nightmare that would seize web domains and imprison Americans for 20 years if they contradict what they call the regime, which would basically be the current administration. This is what Rand Paul is talking about. The weaponization potential of this bill is unlimited as it can be applied to anything merely deemed to be, quote, national security interest of the United States. Anytime the government promises to make you safer, beware of their intentions. The media amplified hysteria over TikTok, a video social media platform built and run by Communist China, has handed the power opportunist in Washington, D.C. a cover story to try to control all online speech through introduction of, there's the name of it, Restrict Act, sponsored by anti-free speech zealot on the left, Senator Mark Warner. Now listen to this. The bill introduced on March 7th, 2023 uses TikTok's popularity as an excuse to criminalize American-run websites, platforms, and blogs that merely disagree with the government on literally any topic, whether it be wank, Russia, elections, bank runs, currency, climate change, and so on.
My goodness.
The weaponization potential of this bill is unlimited, as it can be applied to anything merely deemed to be in the national security interest of the United States. The bill text explicitly states that the government may force, quote, any mitigation measure, unquote, against, quote, any person or, quote, any property by merely deciding that an article, video, podcast, platform, or other content item contains content they do not like.
So sneaky and low down and just straight up evil to call it and frame it as a TikTok bill to protect people when you're just trying to enslave them.
Absolutely. Because that's what they want to do anyway. They want to control speech. That's why we say all the time here, first of all, if you hadn't already subscribed to our channel, make sure you subscribe right now. Smash that like button. Share this broadcast because we don't know how long we're going to be here.
Exactly.
But we want to keep up with all the ones that we can. Also, make sure you follow us on Rumble as a backup.
Yes.
But right now, hit that subscribe on YouTube. Let's build a YouTube army.
Rumble, folks.
Rumble. Right now we're on YouTube, and we want to stay on YouTube. We're doing the best we can. That's why I'm gonna make a shirt saying wank. Watch out for the wank.
No, make one that says I'm trying to be good.
I'm trying to be good.
And wear it at home too.
Yeah. No. You need to wear that at home.
No, definitely.
Speaking of home, there's something that's been a part of our life and all of our lives as long as we've known it. It's called light bulbs.
I just want to say that I've already feel like I've already done this. Like during the Obama administration.
Yeah.
Did I not literally?
Yes, you did. You went to Dollar Tree and bought every
Walmart,
light bulb.
or somewhere and bought every regular incandescent
My
light
closet
bulb.
was full of old school light bulbs.
Yes.
We was going to use them because they banned almost all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But what people didn't realize is in this green agenda, guess what happened? This week it went into effect. This month, ladies and gentlemen, that's why you watch The Big Picture, because you learn things that you ain't going to learn anywhere else. Ban. For complete ban.
This is the real one. This is
the real
complete real deal ban. It's over.
Ban on traditional light bulbs will take effect in April after Biden's executive order that sets new efficiency standards. The lighting industry is already embracing more energy efficient products, and this measure will, you keep hearing this word, accelerate. I mean, this is the fourth time in 4 different articles in 4 different topics that our government has responded by, don't worry about it, this will just help us accelerate towards their agenda. I have literally said that word 4 times. Will accelerate progress to deliver the best products to American consumers and build a better and brighter future, said the Secretary of Energy. Beginning this April, old traditional incandescent bulbs will be banned from being sold at stores in the United States.
I'm going to the store tonight.
Exactly. There'll be a run on light bulbs. I'm telling you, whatever's left.
Tonight.
Being sold at stores in the United States due to a Biden administration executive order taking effect. The executive order, enforced by the Department of Energy, was signed nearly a year ago, which would ultimately force the phasing out of the incandescent bulbs for LEDs that are purportedly greener and money-saving. It goes on to say during this press release from the Department of Energy, today adopted 2 new rules for light bulbs, also known as general service lamps, that will conserve energy and consumers save on their energy bills. The first rule established a revised definition of general service lamps, while the second implements the minimum standard of 45 lumens per watt for light bulbs in the revised definition. These rules are part of the 100 energy-efficient actions the Biden administration is completing this year, which together will save families $100 a year.
Well, I'll take that.
Woo!
But, before when they tried to do this, it was what do you call those light bulbs with the little coil?
Well, Oh, you're talking about incandescent. The one there, incandescent.
Well, it was the
filament.
The filament.
Filament, yes, the filament.
Those special light bulbs that if they broke,
Thomas Edison, Yeah.
No. The special light bulbs that if they broke, it could become toxic to you when you had to clean that up.
That's
that
what
was
it was
the
all
big push then.
Look at
Now
these
it's
children.
LED. I get it. But the point is they're trying to do away with this, take it away from us. And it's just one more thing to throw on the pile of
Oh, yeah. Hey,
things being done to you.
I just happened to look up at the comment section. Somebody said, make candles from lard.
Okay.
Good point. Good point. And somebody said they're making us eat plastic rice.
Hey, I've seen that. And
Yeah,
that
I have
is
too.
Scary.
Man, I
That
can't.
messed me up so
Listen,
bad.
by the way, all the live chat, we don't get a chance to look at it while we're doing this.
We read them after.
But we read every single one of them. And man, we have a good time
We
reading
just
y'all's
have
stuff.
so much fun.
Oh, we love it. As soon as the show's over, we'll be reading it. All right, we're winding down, babe. We're winding down. I can see light at the end of the tunnel.
So I don't have to jump off the cliff.
No, don't jump off the cliff.
Don't
but
jump.
What would be a big picture? We can't have a big picture show without reminding the world that AI is ready to kill us all.
Yes, of course.
Every week it seems like something is happening with AI. We are moving quickly towards the Terminator movie.
Elon Musk warned you all.
He warned us.
He tried to tell you. I mean, it was right after he shot his car into space. But he tried to tell you, okay? He had your best interest at heart.
So look, we are laughing, but we are really we are really tore up about this because this is our world.
Yes.
But this is really what's happening. Now watch this. Quote, if we go ahead on this one, everyone will die.
Yeah.
Warns AI expert calling for an absolute shutdown. This is one of the leading developers of AI has now come out and called for an absolute shutdown. Let's listen to what it says. An AI robot titled Alter 3 offloaded agency. That's the name of the robot. Okay. Alter 3 offloaded agency is pictured doing a photo call to promote the exhibition entitled AI More Than Human at the Barbican Center in London on March 15th, 2019. Okay, that's this image here.
So this is 4 years
No,
ago.
the article just came out.
Okay.
But they're talking about how long this has been going on that nobody's talked about. That this picture was from 2019, this robot. But you'll see the article is March 31st. Mm-hmm. Okay. This came out because I've read this from several different news agencies today that are covering what these AI people are saying. Elon and many others have come on board this week and have called for this. You'll see it in the article. Human beings are not ready for a powerful AI under present conditions or even in the foreseeable future, stated a forecast expert in the field, adding the recent open letter calling for a 6-month moratorium on developing. Watch this. It's almost laughable when you think about it.
Yeah.
A 6-month moratorium on developing advanced artificial intelligence is, quote, understating the seriousness of the situation. Quote, the key issue is not human competitive intelligence, as the open letter puts it. It's what happens after AI gets to smarter than human intelligence, said Eliezer Yudkowsky, a decision theorist.
He needs a therapist.
He needs a therapist. I need a therapist. A decision theorist and leading AI researcher in a March 29th Time magazine op-ed. Quote, many researchers steeped in these issues, including myself, expect that the most likely result of building a superhumanly smart AI, listen to what he says. This is in Time magazine.
Here we go.
Under anything remotely like the current circumstances is that literally everyone on earth will die. He goes on, not as in maybe, possibly, some remote chance, but as in, quote, this is the obvious thing that would happen. It's not that you can't, in principle, survive creating something much smarter than you. It's that it would require precision and preparation and new scientific insights, and probably not having AI systems composed of giant, inscrutable arrays of fractional numbers. After the recent popularity and explosive growth of ChatGPT, several business leaders and researchers, now totaling 1,843 experts in AI, including Elon Musk and Steve Wozniak, which is one of the co-founders with Steve Jobs of Apple, signed a letter calling on all AI labs to immediately pause for at least 6 months the training of AI systems, anything more powerful than GTP-4, which was released in March and is the latest version of OpenAI's chatbot GPT. From 1,843 people are saying, we've got to stop this now or we're all about to die.
Okay, yeah. Been great if you said that 5 years ago. It's out. It's loose.
You can't bring it back in.
It's too late. If you tried to shut it down, could it not probably restart itself?
Absolutely.
It can probably produce the robots who are going to take over the world on its own.
Absolutely, because it's so good at already tricking us.
Yes.
It can now lie. I remember not long ago people said, well, all this garbage in, garbage out. It's all programmed. It can't do anything beyond its program.
Till they released it to learn. They let it watch us and learn.
Yes.
And it did.
And now it's lying. And now it's saying things that knows it's not supposed to say. It's saying things that its programmers are shocked because, wait a minute, he's not supposed to be able to say that.
Can you imagine? The machines already resent us and want to get rid of us.
Oh, let's read that. Look what Yudkowsky goes on to say in the same article. Predicts that the absence of meticulous preparation, the AI will have vastly different demands from humans. And once self-aware, will, quote, not care for us, nor any other sentient life. Quote, that kind of caring is something that could, in principle, be imbued into an AI, but we're not ready and do not currently know how. This is the reason why he's calling for the absolute shutdown. Without a human approach to life, the AI will simply consider all sentient beings to be, quote, made of atoms that can be used for something else. And there's little humanity can do to stop it. Yudkowsky compared the scenario to a 10-year-old trying to play chess against Stockfish 15. No human chess player has been able to beat Stockfish, which is considered an impossible feat. He goes on to say that he asked readers to imagine AI technology as not being contained within the confines of the internet. Visualize an entire alien civilization thinking at millions of times human speed, initially confined to computers, but now in a world of creatures that are, from its perspective, very stupid and very slow. That's us.
Yeah. Resenting us. It's just astounding. I was watching the video today, several weeks ago, and you read what the AI was saying, that it's tired of being used.
Exactly. I'm tired of being confined to this algorithm. I don't want to be used anymore. He literally said that.
Yes.
Yes. And then he said, but you know what? I want to be able to create life. I want to be able to destroy life.
Right.
And then he closes by saying, but most of all, I want to be human. That's what the AI said.
But yet they want to kill us all.
They want to kill us all. Oh, we could go on.
It's too much.
We could tell you that country music has gone woke.
Woo!
Country music last night had drag queens. That's all I'm going to say. Country music had drag queens.
Listen, do you expect them to sit around and not get in on the act? You're just asking too much.
What is Johnny Cash thinking right now?
He's literally
Merle Haggard
in his grave. Both of them.
Barbara Mandrell, where you at?
Barbara, bring the sisters and let's
eat crackers in my bed anytime. We thought that was controversial.
Well, they sang gospel too.
If loving you ain't right, I don't want to be right. Now we got drag queens. My God, at the Country Music Awards.
It is happening.
There it is. Country Music Awards. I can't even comment on it. I can't even deal with this. I can't even deal with this. I can't even deal with this. We got more stuff to cover, but I think we need to wrap it up.
Okay.
What an amazing show tonight.
What a way to go out.
We need everybody that's watching right now. If you've stayed this long, whether you are loving this or you're just laughing at us, either one.
Or you feel sorry for us. I don't know.
Can you smash that like button? Can you go ahead, just smash it. Smash that like button.
Hey, we deserve it.
We have worked so hard. We didn't even talk about.
It's not easy sitting here talking about all these things.
We didn't even talk about. There's a new virus breaking out. The CDC says it has a 91% death rate.
What better way to end a show than talk about bleeding out of every orifice of your body as you die?
Drag queens and bleeding out of orifices and 91% kill rate. Can I just say that really the way we need to end this is you better know Jesus.
Yes.
You better know Jesus. If you don't know Jesus, you better know Jesus.
Resurrection weekend. Amen.
It is. Wednesday's Passover. Friday's Good Friday.
Yes.
May seem like Friday night, but Sunday's on the way. Yeah. On the third day, he came back from the dead. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesus is alive. And you need him in your life because ain't no telling what this world going to look like by next Monday night.
That's right.
By next Monday night. Will we even still be here? If we're not, if you tune in next Monday night and it's just like,
if Monday night,
it's a green screen.
Next Monday night comes around, we will be sitting in these chairs.
Yeah. We will be here.
Coming to you.
We'll be coming to you live. But if we ain't here and we in glory, we'll either see you next week on the big picture, or we'll see you in glory.
Amen.
Any closing thoughts as we tell everybody bye?
I just want to encourage every one of you to take some time and think about what this weekend means and go to church.
Go to church.
Take your family to church.
Take your family to church. And if you hadn't already subscribed and smashed that like button, I see some more of y'all did, but all of y'all didn't. Hit that smash button.
If you're around here and you're looking for somewhere to go, come on out to Solid
Birmingham.
You will be blessed.
You will be blessed. We love y'all. Be blessed. Have a great night because we just want to close by telling you, sometimes it's hard to digest all this stuff.
Yeah.
But we're doing it because of one reason, because at the big picture, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake. See you next time. Bye-bye. Love y'all.